What's going on YouTube? I wanted to come to you today. It is Friday, May 21st, and it is after 5, so my 5 at 5 is more like 5 at 8:50. So that is when I am recording this at this moment. I want to take some time to go over a couple things today. I told you it was going to be based off of different subjects and different topics. Um, Something that came pretty new to me, or I should say just recently over the last few weeks, is just some things about buying a car. So my wife and my daughter, we were all out looking for a car for her. And over the course of buying that car, I want to tell you about some things that I noticed that you might be or may not be aware of. So I'll take you back a few weeks into, I believe it was early March. We basically were looking to trade in our daughter's older car to get her a new one. And when we were looking around, we were just researching to see, would the trade in be better? And it started to toss up some things, and we were questioning like what makes sense. And the good thing that came out of it was we started looking at it, and the trade in value at this time, she had a 2018 Corolla, and the trading value at the time was about $12,700. So we were like, wait a minute, that's kind of lower than what even we were getting from the beginning. This car was originally on a lease, so we were thinking, we could either turn it in or we could trade it in and possibly have some equity at the end of it. Well, with the whole thing that was going on prior to April, it seemed like everybody was at the normal car ranges. So we also noticed that it was going to be one of those things that it made sense for us to go ahead and just turn the car in because, the remaining of the lease was a little bit higher than that 12, but just a couple $100, but still just made sense to go ahead and turn it in and walk away from it. So fast forward about 3 weeks ago, we go back into a new dealership and we started looking at a Hyundai, and we actually got her a Hyundai Venue, which is a pretty good car, actually pretty nice. And the nice thing about this one, we went through the whole process, and they asked us, "Hey, you're looking at trading the car?" I said, "No, we're still on lease. We finished paying the last payment. We're going to just turn the car in and go from there." Well, the guy was like, "Are you sure you want to think about it?" It's like, "No, we're not. We're going to test these waters and just see. It doesn't make sense for us to do it." All of a sudden, the guy comes back out and says, "Hey, let's just look at that car just to see." Because right now we're getting a car shortage on used cars, and we need more used cars. And I was like, okay, well, it doesn't hurt. Of course, my wife poked me and said, go ahead and just see what happens. So we go ahead and we let them check it out. They check out the car, come back, and then they offer us. Remember what I said back in March? It was $12,700. They offer us $14,500 for it. So I'm like, wait a minute. How did my value of my used Toyota go up by almost $2,000? Well, here's the thing. Come to find out, it looks like the computer shortage has, caused a lot of issues within the car chain. Now, it doesn't, we've heard this on the news. We talked about it, about new cars being manufactured, having issues getting those cars out. So we know there's a shortage there. But this turns into a loop of a spiral of, hey, I can't give you my car because you don't have a new car to give me back. So there's a used car shortage as well. And of course, dealerships now are actually going in and adjusting the values of that. And of course, across the country, we've seen used car values extremely go back up. So if you're wondering if what your car was worth just 5 months ago and you talk to a dealership, you might want to go back and have them reappraise the car and look at it again, because you might be surprised that you might actually see just as much of an increase as I did. So we went ahead and purchased the car. It was a great deal. And by all means, it was like the perfect deal. We got exactly what we wanted. We paid a little bit more money a month on the new car, but no big deal. We actually still saved a lot of money, and we had equity in the old car. So that leads me to what I want to talk about today. And that really talks about what you want in your next vehicle. And there's some things I want to tell you about when you do trade in, some big things that you can do to increase your car's value from just a simple point of appearance, right? We've all heard the stories, and if you haven't heard this, I hope you please take this to to the heart and understand why I say this. Wash your car before you go and look at another car.
Working at the car wash, yeah. Come on and...
If you're going to do a trade-in, wash your car, vacuum it out, clean it out. I can tell you from firsthand, it makes a big difference. Whether that big difference is $300 or $1,000 in how much they're going to put into your car at the end of the day. So make sure you wash that car, clean it out, get it looking nice and clean. You know, if you got a full tank of gas, drive it a little bit. Get some of that gas out so you don't lose some of that money. Gas is getting a little more expensive nowadays. So that's one big tip. The next big tip is to look at your tires, right? Take your tires, and there is a tire gauge that you can actually go to any auto parts store and buy. And it just tells you the depth of that wheel tread. If your tires are lower than it should be in a balanced ratio, so if you have a front wheel drive car, your front wheels will burn out rubber faster than your rear wheels will. If you have an all-wheel drive car, they usually even out, and if it's 4x4, kind of the same deal. But make sure that you rotate. And same thing if you have a rear-wheel drive car. So if you have a rear-wheel drive car, your rear wheel is going to run out faster than your front wheel. Make sure you keep your rotation correctly, right? When you rotate and balance, they should be going front to back, or if they are specialty cars, you may have to do side to side or front right to front right to rear left and vice versa. So some cars actually have a specific pattern. Well, if you notice that your tires are really low and the tread is really low, that's another reason why a car dealership will give you less money for your car too, because they're going to look at it. If you got two front car wheels and tires, right, and they're getting ball or they're getting closer to lower wear, they're not going to just replace those two front tires. They need to replace them as a set, or it doesn't look good when they go to resell the car. So therefore, now I've got to take that $200 to $400 and get you just a cheap set of tires on the car, which you could do yourself if you want to for safety reasons, as well as just be aware that if that is the case and you don't want to buy tires, just know that you're going to get a little less money for your car because your tire wear is a little bit lower than it should be, or your rotation cycle is just a little off. So it should kind of balance out to where when you move your front wheels, if you're a front wheel drive car or a rear wheel drive car, when you swap them out every 7,000 to 10,000 miles, depending on the car, you'll notice that's going to be a good help in the wear pattern. They'll stay even and they won't be off by weird numbers. If you got a lead foot, slow down. That's one good thing. And also be careful of the burnouts. You know, you don't want to be like grandma and, you know, gunning at the red light for at least the first 500 feet and then slow down. So just saying, good tip. All right. So the next thing is when you start looking at buying a new car is find out the car that you want. Find the car that you feel like it is the best car, whether it is value, features, color, size, body type, truck, it doesn't matter. Find the car you want, and you can do one or two things. You can stick with a dealership that you know and you trust, that you've dealt with in the past. Go to see that person, talk to them, have negotiations there. Don't get caught in this is a great deal, you need to sign on the dotted line to get this deal today. It may not be here tomorrow. There's some truth to that, but there's also some fiction to that. The truth is the car may not be there tomorrow because someone could come and buy it. That's the truth. The deal, if it's within the same month, should still be around. These dealerships do not want to lose business based off of that. So make sure, you know, look at the time. If you're buying this car at the last day of the month, there's a really good chance that deal and that car may not be there tomorrow if the month starts over the next day. Or if it's on a Friday evening or a Saturday and the dealership's closed on a Sunday and the new month starts for them on a Monday, yes, there's a chance that you may lose the deal that they gave you and the car. So be confident when you're going to buy and make sure that you look at exactly the car you want, pick out the one you want, love all the features, and then you go from there. Now, during the negotiation price, this brings up to number 3, I believe, or 4. In the negotiation price, when you start negotiating the cost of the car versus your trade-in value, my tip to you is to always work on your trade-in first. Get the trade down to where you like, then move to the car. Some will tell you do the opposite. Do the car first. Get the new car value of whatever they're going to offer you, discounts and stickers up front. A lot of smart dealerships are doing it now where they'll just go ahead and show you the discount right off the back. Don't even try to play the game, because we all know we're tired of playing games when you go buy a car. No one wants to go sit in a dealership for 2 and 3 hours to play negotiation for an hour and a half, wait for a finance guy for another 45 minutes because he's got people ahead of you. That's fair. And then you get your car by in there and you got to come back out with your salesperson and go over all the new car stuff. So that leads me to my last point. And my last point, which is number 5 here, is getting the right payment, getting the right price of your car. Nowadays, we actually have a lot of different ways that you can actually look out and get really good deals. One, if you haven't seen them before, TrueCar is a very, very good resource. They do a really good job by allowing you to sign up for a membership, and you can actually go in and view car prices and different, average prices that people bought cars in your area. So it gives you some ammunition when you go sit down into a dealership and you say, hey, this car is $24,995 sticker, but the average person is buying it for $21,995 or $23,995. So you know where you kind of would be on that scale when it comes to negotiation. So if they come right off the back and give you $2,000 off, okay, now you're in the middle ground. So now you can play around a little bit more to see if you can get more off of that car. The other part of it is when you start looking at USAA, if you were a military member, they no longer have their car buying service, which was an excellent service. And we've taken advantage of using them in the past, but unfortunately they stopped doing it. But TrueCar now offers, and I'm looking at here, it's through the military community that you can actually sign up using that. And as long as you're a veteran or active duty service member, you can actually still get some extra benefits by having TrueCars to sign up. So look at that. If you guys are veterans out there or members of, current active duty, thank you for your service again. That is another way for you to save some more money. And of course, if you want to just find out what are some of the best cars out there, I always like telling people to look at a couple different websites. One, of course, Kelley Blue Book. They're really good to kind of give you an idea of cars that meet some different standards. They have a really good YouTube channel out there, and I believe one of the driver / reviewers, his name is Micah. He's actually really good, and he explains everything pretty simple, and you can get a chance to see him test drive a car. Check out their channel; it's actually pretty awesome. I like them a lot. And then, of course, there's other car review sites out there too. And the reason why I like saying look at some of the review sites, because sometimes they'll give you insights or things to look at when you go to test drive a car. So the one thing I kind of left off of this list was test driving, right? It's just, what you like. I'm never going to tell someone what to like. I'm never going to go out here and make those decisions for you. So that's kind of it for today. I just wanted to kind of just jump out there. Unfortunately, I couldn't get my co-host today. Some things came up. That's one reason why I was able to, running really late to post this and get it edited. So I hope that you guys are able to see this before before the end of Friday. So my 5 at 5 will be my 5 at 9:30. But either way, I was able to still come to and put something out that I felt like was just great information, and it kind of goes along with life right now. So thanks again for joining me 5 at 5 at 9:30. And I hope you guys have a great weekend, and we'll see you next Friday, hopefully right on time, not CP time.